They say parenting is the most rewarding job in the world, but some employees want to quit. In this series, we dive into the wild, messy, and sometimes heartbreaking posts from parents who regret the gig. It's not about parent bashing, it's just a reality check before you sign a lifetime contract. I'm Erica.
And I'm Kristen.
Today we are going to be reading from the Regretful Parents sub on Reddit. The subject line was, "I'm about to break down." She says, "This may be controversial, but I need to get it out. I'm tired of having a sick child. Hyperactive ADHD, anxiety disorder, ARFID." Are you familiar with ARFID, Kristen?
No, what's that?
I believe it's the thing where you don't want to taste new foods, new textures, are like not
Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder.
Yeah, they have limited diets. Mm-hmm. And now the doctor wants my daughter to get evaluated for autism again. And when my daughter has trouble taking her chewable pills due to the ARFID, her doctor suggests that I try a million things that I have tried before that didn't work. Mm-hmm. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But why is it different when it involves children? They say keep on trying even if things aren't working because they might eventually. Fuck off with that unhelpful advice. This is kind of shocking to me. She says, and the ARFID is the most difficult part of it all. More difficult than hyperactive ADHD and an anxiety disorder and possibly autism.
Well, okay. Wow.
She says, my child just doesn't eat. Very limited diet, and sometimes it just feels like she's wasting away. And that's when I started thinking, I was like, what did people used to do when people had this disorder, when it was like you lived in like a small little village, but I guess the kid just died, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know literally anything about ARFID other than the acronym. Like, I don't know if in this case it's the kid's choice.
I think it's yes and no. It is a choice in theory, but I think it's a sensory thing. Like they can't eat foods that are...
Let me read this.
Yeah.
So, reasons for restriction. Unlike other eating disorders like anorexia, ARFID is not driven by concerns about body shape or weight. Instead, it's motivated by factors such as sensory sensitivities, for example, strong reactions to taste, texture, or smell of food, fear of aversive consequences such as choking, vomiting, or pain, and last bullet here is lack of interest in eating food.
Can't relate.
I can.
You have a lack of interest in eating food?
Not to the third bullet, but to to at
the
least the fear of aversive consequences such as choking, vomiting, or pain.
Well, yeah.
For those who don't know, I have a baby esophagus. It's the size of an infant's esophagus, and it is terrifying. And I have to chew everything very long, and I avoid a lot of foods because I'm scared of choking. I might have ARFID.
I don't think it has to do with your body composition.
Yeah, but I do have I have fear around it, right? Like I do purposely avoid foods for fear of choking, which maybe it's to your point.
Think you
it's
have
specific
ARFID.
to my condition where I do avoid foods because I know it'll cause choking.
If you were my child, I would give you up for adoption.
That's fair. I mean, my parents called me crazy until I got an endoscopy at like 34.
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly where this child fits into this condition and, what combination or singular of these items that this kid has. But either way, I could see it being really frustrating if your kid is allergic and could possibly die being exposed to certain foods. Like you must have so much anxiety. And you must have to be so careful all the time. And especially if you're eating out. Like that to me sounds exhausting. This, I'm so interested in this being the most difficult part of motherhood. Because to me, it just seems like once you figure out which foods their kid will eat, you would just keep giving them those same foods, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. She says, and her doctor doesn't seem to act like it's a big deal. My child is losing weight and looks so small, and her doctor just keeps telling me to offer food and do the same things I've been doing over and over again for years that don't work. Anytime she tries to eat certain foods, she either gags, throws up, or both, and nothing works. It has been this way since she's been a toddler, and she's about to be 7. So yeah, I don't know why she can't just feed her chicken tenders for every meal, but for whatever reason, they're not letting her do that. Mm-hmm. She said, and I feel like I'm the one who's insane. I feel like maybe none of it's real, and maybe I'm the only one who's seeing it, despite her behavioral therapist and her OT saying they see it too. It just feels like nobody is taking me seriously. That must be, I mean, we were talking about gaslighting
literally right
today.
Before this.
Yeah, like as a parent, when you're watching your child, who you are responsible for, waste away, and nobody is taking you seriously, that has to be fucking maddening.
Well, this reminds me of the episode we did with Tamsin Fidel, where she talks a lot about how if you have a doctor who's not listening to you, go to a different doctor. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious about this person and how many doctors they've seen, or if they just keep going back to the same doctor who just keeps telling them to do the same shit over and over again. Like I was just describing to Erica before this, how I went to 2 dermatologists who told me some answer, and then I went to a third, and the third gave me a totally different answer. Mm-hmm. So it sucks being a human and having doctors are fallible. But like, if you're that concerned about your kid, maybe it's time to keep trying new resources or new things.
I do feel for her, though, because I can imagine that it's really exhausting when your kid is already dealing with all these other things, and she's going to a behavioral therapist, she's going to an occupational therapist.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So, like, have to look for another doctor? It's like, oh, fuck.
And you have to bring your kid, and you have to take time off work.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like her kid is the easiest kid to take around places. So,
right.
Phew. And then she said, I do it all alone mostly. My mom helps watch her so I can work 2 jobs and support my daughter. So she doesn't have time to take her daughter to the doctor. Mm-hmm. And her dad sees her on the weekends and is making me drag him to court for child support.
Sounds right.
Nobody helps me carry the mental load. Nobody goes with me to appointments to see what I see or hear what I hear. Her ADHD meds mostly help her, but it absolutely gutted what little appetite she had. Okay, so there's the extra piece.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
That's
doozy.
A real thing.
Yeah. To have to decide between medication or your child eating is like, fuck. And I've been told that I can either help the ADHD or she can eat.
Yeah.
How do you make a decision like that?
I mean, realistically, the kid should eat.
She has to eat.
Then the mom is crazy. The mom is going to deal with a crazy kid, basically. And I say this as someone who was a kid with ADHD.
Yeah,
like,
we both have ADHD for anybody who's watching.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like this kid might have more intense, since they're considering that it may be autism, it sounds like they may be more intensely divergent, but... So she continues, so I get to feel guilted into being a shitty parent because I'm always put into a position where I have to solve one problem but create another.
Yeah.
That's fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
She said, and I'm about to go to therapy to help me deal with all of this, but I really just want to end it all or wind up on a missing persons poster. I just feel so exhausted and I just want to give her to her dad. But of course, that's not what's best for her, so I just suffer in silence and cry when I'm alone.
What is the custody with the dad?
Well, what do you mean?
Is she married or is she divorced?
Said that she only sees the kid only sees the dad on the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it seems like they're divorced or that they had a kid out of wedlock.
I'm curious what she means by that's not best for her kid. Like, says who? Is her dad a shitty dad?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because to me it feels like the solution here would be add more days to custody for the dad.
Well, it does say that her dad sees her only on the weekends and is making me drag him to court for child support.
Oh, right.
Who knows? Maybe he doesn't even want to be involved per court orders.
Yeah, that's a bummer, dude. What do the people in the comments say?
Most upvoted comment says, I feel like there are a lot of parents here with kids on the spectrum. This shit is shit. Another person said, I'm so sorry. I can hear how overwhelmed you are. I hope it isn't rude to mention because I'm sure you have tried everything. But my bestie has a kiddo with the same condition and they have survived with daily smoothies that she is able to beef up. She calls it his milkshake and he is into it.
That's literally all I was thinking too, was like, I'm sure they've tried everything, but like smoothies, protein shakes over and over.
Yeah.
What'd she say? Did she reply?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She said, no, you're not being rude. It's unfortunate that my daughter won't drink any shakes or smoothies. I'd be able to give her more protein or just different food options if she would. I've tried every single tip and trick under the sun. We've now just got my daughter into licking unwanted and unfamiliar foods, but it's just a small lick with the tip of her tongue. And she has to immediately drink something to wash away the thought of the taste that she barely tasted. It's a battle. And her doctor seems to forget that the ARFID diagnosis anytime I mention her not eating or not being able to take her medicine.
The doctor doesn't even remember?
I know.
Get a new doctor, dude. That's
like
a fucking joke.
I know, but with 2 jobs, it's like, this fucking person needs help.
Yeah. ChatGPT?
Maybe.
Everyone's going to hate me for saying that, but
I know.
Sometimes it works.
I mean, in the case of this woman,
yeah,
who
she has no
cares?
time.
She is in hell.
Yeah, she's in hell.
One person said, can or has the doctor prescribed meds that increase her appetite to counteract the suppressant effect of the meds? That's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Did she reply?
No. Fucking brutal, though, dude.
I can't imagine not wanting to eat food.
Yeah, that's why I said you don't have ARFID. This bitch.
I definitely don't have ARFID, for the record. I was just kidding. But I do. I think maybe every single day about some guy who I used to intern with in like 20 years ago at this point now. He was one of those people who we'd go to lunch every day on the company, which the glory days, right? We'd go to like these nice lunches in LA on the company every single day. And they'd be like 2-hour lunches, bro. And this guy was like, I just eat for sustenance. I don't eat because I enjoy it. Food is fuel and that is it. And we were like at nice restaurants, dude. Like it wasn't like he was just eating like at Chili's. I think about him like pretty much every single day, and I wonder how people like that exist. And maybe that's at some point this kid will grow up and be like, I gotta eat to fuel my body, and that's it, and that's all food will ever be. And to me, food is like 90% of my purpose for being alive. So what do I do? You know, what do people do?
Totally. You're reminding me too, when we were in college, there was a girl that we knew who posted a picture of her once. Like, this is when people were like new to photoshopping. And she had sewn her, in the photo, she had sewn her mouth closed, and the caption said, nothing tastes as good as thin feels.
Somebody posted that?
I'll tell you who after the call, but yeah, someone posted that. And I think about that probably on a monthly basis, because I'm like,
well, you know, that quote came from like, I know Nicole Richie said it at one point.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's a famous like celebrity quote. And I think it might have started with like Kate Moss, but I don't want to like spread rumors. Yeah, I know Nicole Richie said it. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels.
Yeah, I just remember thinking that's a lie.
It is Kate Moss. It was popularized by English model Kate Moss, though she did not originate the phrase. Moss first publicly used the quote in 2009 with an interview where she stated it was one of her mantras.
That's so fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, but you just reminded me, I saw on one of our other episodes, somebody said that this is the time of year that people drop their dogs. I think this person worked at a shelter maybe, but they said people drop their dogs off at the shelter because their kids are going to college and they just don't want the dog anymore. And apparently this happens all the time at this time of year. And it made me so mad, and so I just had to say it here as a reminder to please adopt and hug your dogs and cats and animals.
What is it so that they can go travel? They're like, my kids are out of the house. I want to be an empty nester.
They're just like, I don't want the dog. this was a dog for my kid and I don't want it anymore. Fuck you if that's you.
There are so many of these people out there. That's what's so scary.
They said this time of year, that's when it always happens. People start dumping their dogs at the shelter.
This is why 75% of my will is going to animal shelters and rescues.
Good. Well, if you like this episode, remember to like and subscribe. We have so much more coming for this Regretful Parents series in the future, but if in the meantime you want more, we have an entire podcast about being child-free by choice, and you can listen to it wherever you find podcasts just by searching Dinky. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at DinkyPod, and if you're child-free looking to make new friends, come on a fucking trip with us. We are having a blast on these trips, and you can meet other child-free people. Visit the link in bio for more information. Until next time, thanks, Dink Squad.
Thanks, Dink Squad.
Bye.